Well, happy Saturday, everyone. This is Greg Dixon, your fun investing host. And today we're going to talk about we're going to review the fifth week of Polar Tensor for our little trial account, and going to talk about some family estate planning. So, to give you a bit of a background, I've been obsessed, interested in trading for a long time. I traded options for a while, and then I've been trading crypto assets with Netcoins and Kraken in recent years. And it's kind of a fun challenge, but it's really hard to do. So that's part of the appeal to Polar Tensor. I was introduced to this a while ago. Polar Tensor is an AI-driven system, uses neural networks, pattern recognition, in order to trade, and the results that it's getting are consistent with what I've been getting on a really good day. I just don't have enough good days trading, so I still do it for fun once in a while, but it's just it's much easier to have the AI do it, because like most things, AI can do things faster and better than most humans can at any time. So the challenge here, the idea of the breakfast investing challenge, was that if you took $100, which is the minimum for the platform, and then you added the equivalent of a breakfast each week, which I'm pegging at $30, which could be a breakfast for two or a breakfast for one at a higher place. If you're in a hotel, the buffet could be $30, and there you go. And maybe you want to put in a bigger breakfast, but that's what we're doing. The challenge is, and so I started Bonnie's account. This is the fifth week, and we started with $100, and I've been adding, putting $30 a week into trading, and it's the system is earning. It has been earning between 2 and 3%. Returns after all the performance fees going back into the account. And so let's just take a look at what Bonnie's account is doing right now here. Okay, so yeah, so you can see now it's grown to $257.92. Part of that is the adding the equivalent of $30 a week to add it in here, but it's generated in the 30 days has generated $14.43, and since over the 5 weeks it's $16.72. So we can't show it right now, but during the weekdays it trades basically starting at midnight in London time. Actually, it's 8 p.m. London time. So it's midnight here in Pacific time. And during the week, it shows, I've got some other videos that show you it actually trading, and it'll show you, it'll be scrolling the trades that as they're completed. So it's trading, it's making thousands of micro trades of the main assets, which are Bitcoin, ADA, Solera, Ethereum, and XRP. And as it's going, most of the time it shows that it's green, it's winning, but it also shows when it's not. Trading stuff. I know from personal experience, and then in this window here, there's a thing called view details, and there'll be, we've got nothing going on. Well, that was okay. This is what happened this last week. So Monday was pretty slow, about 0.19%, then 0.63%, 6.2, 6.9, and 6.5. So it earned us just 2.78% for the system, and the week before. So it's been, as I said, it's been varying, sort of more than 2 to up to about 4%, and you don't get all of this. There are some performance fees depending on what your investment tier is. You keep more of it. But in my account, and I'm going to go pop over to my account here. Let's see. Let's go back here and let's see. Share this tab instead. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So there we're at. We're back at mine. And I also started with $100, and I've been putting in, mostly rounding up. I've been doing this a little bit longer than Bonnie's account. I think this is probably week 9 for me. And I started with $100, and I've been rounding up to the next 1,000 mostly. And so it shows you here, I'm just now over at $12,384. And it's made basically just over $1,000 US in the last 30 days, and just over 2,000 in the last since I started here. So it's been pretty good. And so the process is this: it goes at the end of the trading day on Friday. After a couple hours, the money that it's created is reinvested into trading. There's an option to not reinvest, and then it shows up why there are 2 numbers here. This one is kind of like your crypto wallet, and that's how you put money in from something like Trust Wallet or Kraken or Binance or Coinbase, anything that you might be using to buy and sell crypto and move crypto. You can move it in and out with this wallet here, and then this other number is active trading. And so normally for me, I would put this into active trading. This came from my Kraken account. This was brought in, and I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I'm going to put this into, maybe I'm going to stop sharing here for a minute, and I'm just going to explain it a little bit more about what I'm doing. Okay, let's see here. So part of the title here is family estate planning. So one of the things, this whole discussion started last week. Bonnie and I have been a little bit lax. We haven't really got our wills up to date. I made a will about 5 years ago. Bonnie hasn't done hers, and we decided we needed to get our act together, get our documentation in order. So, which includes a will, power of attorneys, health representation agreements, and all of that, and some insurance. So we haven't had any insurance, and I started looking in insurance, and I got a little bit frustrated because there's, once you start looking, all of a sudden everybody's contacting you about their insurance offers, and almost all of them say, oh, some of them like hundreds of thousands of dollars, even $1 million coverage for, $20 a month or something ridiculous. And then when it comes down to it, Bonnie's going to be 70 this year. I'm 68, and those numbers don't apply to us. So instead of hundreds of thousands of dollars of coverage for tens of dollars, it's $50,000 coverage for hundreds of months. So it's so we said, well, maybe there's a better way. So I still might get insurance, a small minimal program. So just like if I get hit by a gravel truck or something, at least Bonnie's covered with things for a while. And but I looked into self-insuring. So one of the things I'm going to do is we're going to do all the documentation. There are many options. Again, we're doing this. We're going to try this one here. I'm just going to share this tab instead. It's through a Canadian. Let's see. Okay, I better go back and see if you're seeing this properly. And you're not. Okay. So this is Legal Wills Canada, and they have a package. Bonnie has a Legal Shield, and we could get them to help create documentations. But what I liked about this is you can start with the funeral arrangements, the messages, and just a will, basic will, and then the power of attorney, living will. And this here, many of you may know that I've been offering a thing called a life vault, which was for Rocket Norton. We put all of his creative things, his books in there, many videos, audio recordings, all that stuff. But it's in a membership program in Kartra that also allows to have a highly secure area. Like you can have different levels of security, and a life vault could be a place to put all of your wills and documents and all of those other things in there, and in instructions. Like part of this is going to be is I set. I'm going to go back here. Part of this is I've made a point of making sure Bonnie can go from beginning to end. So we set up a Kraken account for her so that that she can get money from her bank account into Kraken and into Polar Tensor, and more importantly, should I be hit by a bus or a gravel truck, is to take the money out of Polar Tensor into her Kraken account and back into her bank account. And we're also going to set it up so that she can take the money out of my Polar Tensor account, put it into her Polar Tensor account or into Kraken, and then into her bank account. So there's a pathway to get the money out. And all of this needs to be covered. I've inquired with Kraken and the other investment platforms, and some will allow a beneficiary for an account and some won't. Kraken doesn't. So basically what they said, I have to have all of the details of the account in the will and in the power of attorney, all of the documentation, and then it needs to be part of the escrow. The part of the executor needs to manage that in probate and all that kind of thing. We're hoping that because we're treating it as joint assets, we can manage the things without going through the legal aspect. But legally, that's the proper way to do it. You just make sure you have all of your intentions set up, all of the documentation, so that Kraken can just simply pay things out as appropriate. So that's part of the plan there. And so that's why I'm going to go get back to Bonnie's account here. So in terms of an insurance policy, so part of this is we're going to put some money into Kraken, because Kraken has an earning capability. And I'm just going to see if I can show you that. There we go. Share this tab. I'll just make sure you can see it. Okay, there we go. So Kraken has a number. For one thing, many of the investing platforms will reward you for simply just having money in there. So if you put a bunch of Canadian money and sit in there, most will pay, like the various trading platforms for stocks and options and stuff will also do this, is they'll pay you, a few percent in order to just simply have money in there. So Kraken's like that too, but there's some specific things that you can do. You can assign to staking. Basically, staking is you committing a pool of money to facilitate trades, other transactions on the block trade, all kinds of things, and then they pay a reward for it. And there's about 20 things you can put in. Here on mine, I've got Cosmos pays a pretty good 20.85%, which is not as much as Polar Tensor is returning, but a lot more than your daily interest savings account is going to pay. So I have one with TD, and it works out to about 3.8% a year. And then the Tron here, and then I've got these a couple of the 11. So I got quite a few stuff between 10 and 20%, 21%, and the only caveat here is it's because it's linked to to an asset. If if it dumps in value, then the earnings, you still can lose the value because it's gone down in the market. But I've been putting more and more into Cosmos and Tron because they've been consistently gaining. Even like Tron here, it's kind of an interesting thing. It goes when the crypto market dumps, it tends to go up. So it's like an insurance policy. If you're, people use the options in order to backstop a trade. But anyway, so the idea here is not everything is in Polar Tensor. With Bonnie's account, we're going to build up assets there. And the idea with all of this is it's going to be fairly liquid. And that's the liquidity is the key here. I'm going to go back. So the whole idea here is with Polar Tensor, like I have put money in and put money out. It's been pretty easy each way. Most times the money is moved within 5 to 20 minutes. And so I'm pretty sure if there's something really happened and needed to take the money out, like sometimes emergencies happen and you need the money, it probably could get everything out of Polar Tensor in an hour or two. And I don't know if you've been involved with various other investments where you have to commit to putting things in for months and sometimes years before you get a return, and you put your money in and hope something good happens. This has a higher liquidity. And for this exercise, what I'm going to do, Bonnie's account is now just over 200, and I'm going to add more into her account in the terms of an investment for an insurance kind of thing. So she's going to have more stake in that. So if she needs some money out fairly quickly, it's going to be out. So get it out, but it's going to grow. So even at this will put her over $500 into that, and that will put her into a slightly better return on it because the performance fees will be less, and it will also grow. So even if nothing else happens in 5 years, that can be a pretty good chunk of money. So I often send people to the calculator site to put in, and I would say for this, if you put in 2% compounded weekly over 5 years, you can see what it looks like. And you can also experiment with adding how much you're going to put in. The breakfast challenge has been $30 a week. $100 a week is probably pretty good for most people, and I've been putting in more like $1,000 a week. So we'll see. So one of the things, Polar Tensor has a facility to send money from member to member, which is why it's easy for me to fund Bonnie's account. And it's also sometimes people sign up and they don't have any ability to move crypto around, so I can help with that. So this is great. So let's go back to Polar Tensor. I'm gonna show you the mechanism, because I know a couple of people have set up, and at least one person out there has money sitting in their Polar Tensor account, but it's not an active trading, and you can't make any money if the system's not trading your money. So this is, I'm going to just show you the process here a bit. And let's see here. I'm going to go back to my account here. No, that's the wrong one. I'm going to go to Polar Tensor. Share this tab and make sure we're looking at it. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we're cooking. So here you can see here I've got in this blue box here, blue green, $390.60 USDT. And I mentioned earlier that I moved that in from Kraken. But if I were not reinvesting the money each week, the money that's generated by this would also go in here, and then you can move it around. So I'm going to send it all to Bonnie. And just boost up her account, so she'll be earning more and compounding more for the insurance, this form of insurance system here. So, okay, let's go. Transfer and do Bonnie, and we're going to do well, yeah, why not? 390.60. The thing here is the more you can start, if you start with a decent amount, you'll get more benefit with the compounding. We've been doing the $30 a week just to show that it works. But the more you can put in, the better for growing the account. So there we go. It says it's transferred successfully. And now we can go over to her account and see what that looks like there. And if all goes well, there we go. So there's $390.60 there that transferred from my account into hers. And right now you see she's got $257.92. And I'm just going to add it all to trading. Again, it's not earning any money if it's not in active trading. So 390.60 investment added. So there we go. So next week at the start on Monday, starting midnight Pacific time, this will start earning money. And at the end of the week, we hope it gets turned into 2 or 3% into her account, and it'll grow from there. So that's all I'm going to say for now. If you want to join the Breakfast Investing Challenge, it's breakfastinvestingchallenge.com/join. You can go to the website there, and I've posted quite a few articles on Polar Tensor about how that works. I've got an article there on compound interest. Part of my mission for doing this is financial education. If people understood how compound interest works for you or against you, it can help. This idea here, this idea of small investments, is the same as many of the education and investing programs, where you start putting in maybe even $20, $30 a month for your child, maybe from when they're young. And the idea is when they hit to become college aged, then they have some money that they can use to go to university or go start a business or do something with their life. And so this idea here is small amounts can compound over time. And most things don't compound as fast as this. But it's like the same as mutual funds. Over the decades, if you put in $100 a month into a mutual fund, you're probably doing okay. And that's the same idea. And also there's an article for lazy investors and people who don't want to do that. They just want to put a junk in there, put in $1,000, 10,000, whatever it is, and just, watch it grow until it gets to the point where it can generate substantial income. At some point for me, when I get to about 20,000, it's going to generate a living wage. And then I'll probably get it to take, rather than auto invest, get it to put it into the wallet, and I can maybe take half of that out and then put half back into investing. The addiction here with compounding is it's hard. The rule is you should probably never break the compounding, and so you'll tend to leave it in there forever. But at some point, you want to take the money out, use it to fund your life, to give you options to do what you love to do and have some fun with it. Anyway, I'm glad you could join me today. Again, really go join the breakfastinvestingchallenge.com. If you join, you get a notice that you can come and jump in. At some point, I'm hoping that a number of people who have been in the program for a while will come in and we'll discuss what it's meant for them and how it's working for them and what the challenges are. So till then, happy Saturday and enjoy your day.